Hi, this is Kathleen from Bailey Academy. Mama of 5, homeschooling 3 of them, ages 10, 13, and 17. Today I am participating in a collab. I haven't done one in a while. With Annalisa of Creative Curious Learning and Living and Stephanie from Schulte's Sweeties Homeschool. And we are all talking about notebooks that are our favorites or how we use them, things like that. So what a collab means, if you've never seen one, is that after you watch my video, you go to the description box below and there's a link to the playlist. You go to the playlist and you'll see all the other homeschool YouTubers who are participating, and you can watch all their videos, finding out more information about notebooks, but also checking out some new channels that maybe you don't already follow that you would like to follow. So make sure you check out Annalisa and Stephanie's channel for sure, because they're the ones hosting the collab, and check out everybody else's and give everybody a like and subscribe if you enjoy their content. Let me know in the comments when you're done watching this video, what you use notebooks for in your homeschool. Okay, so I also want to give a little warning, or not warning, whatever. I want to give a little note that I may have to pause and restart this video many times. So if you see it seems choppy, that's why. I have my usual dog, as you can hear, clip-clopping and whining in the background, but I also have my new puppy who's probably getting into trouble right now because I'm not looking at her. So I may have to stop to get her out of trouble every couple seconds. Okay, so where are you? And she is behaving at the moment. Okay, so first I wanted to show, most of the notebooks that we use in our homeschool are dollar store notebooks, Dollarama, because we're in Canada. We have Dollar Tree too, but these are Dollarama notebooks, but not all of them. And I wanted to also show what we do with them. So, the first thing I wanted to say is that everybody knows what I'm having trouble thinking the names. Composition notebook is. I have this cool one, but they come in plain ones too. This one is from the dollar store, and I love cactuses, so I was so happy to see this. I have a matching binder and a bigger notebook as well, which is cool. But I use composition notebooks for making notes about homeschool in general, especially at the end of the year, so that I can start prepping through the summer for the new year. So in this one, I have written down, classes I want my kids to maybe take, notes about what I would want them to do, a planned schedule, but I use pencil so that I can erase or scribble over if I want to, whatever. I don't think you can see, but it's just notes. Now the cat's being, dog's messing with the cat. Notes about what we want to do, field trips we might take, anything like that. And I keep that in here year round. So that's what I use composition notebooks for the most part. I don't actually use them very much in my homeschool itself. We did do a journal one year, which was not a composition notebook, but was something similar, very similar size. And we've used them for some things, but we don't currently use them. So that's what I use composition notebooks for. Along with, not from dollar store, but along with cheaper notebooks, these Hilroy, or at least Canada, they're Hilroy, but I'm sure America has them too. Very thin. This is only 32 pages of lined paper. So I don't know, you tell me if states or other countries have something similar. But here in Canada, we have these Hilroy notebooks. And they're very cheap. Year-round, they're less than $1. Back to homeschool, they're like 25 cents. I've even seen them for 10 cents, and I even found a whole whack of them unused at a thrift store once, the whole package for $1. I can't remember how many there is. So I currently have in my notebook drawer at least 10 of these, if not more. And what we use them for, because they're very small, so they're not ones you want to keep necessarily. Puppy. What I use them for is math. So when my kids do math, we are currently using Learn Math Fast, but even when we're using other things, we didn't really write on the papers or in the books, so we can use them again, or sell them, or give them away, depending on how we got them. The things that we get for review, I do not sell, just to clarify. And so we do our math in the notebook. So this is currently blank because this is for the current year that we haven't started yet. But yeah, they just jot down the questions, figure out their work there, and then move on. Are you behaving for a second? So that's what we use those for. I do have a more expensive notebook. These are School Nest notebooks. I know some other YouTubers are talking about them, so you can check out their videos in the playlist to know more. The only one, well, we have a planner from them. We just using this year, but I can't speak on it because we haven't used it yet. But this is the history timeline notebook. We got it at the beginning of last year with the intention that everything we learned about history would make a note in the timeline notebook. To be honest, I think we used it twice. Completely forgot I owned it. So, plan to use it more this year. And the other problem we had was that my kids' writing is very messy, and they don't take the time to make it neat, and my son doesn't like to draw. So what we did, I had my son, when we learned about 9/11, my son draw the Twin Towers, and then I wrote a little something. But this is what it looks like. It has the dates in the middle. It's just a puppy playing. And it has, first it has a section for my history, so you can do like your own timeline type thing. Prehistory, ancient times, Middle Ages, early modern, and modern. So that's nice. It has, in like 50 increments or so. Or 10 increments, depending on where you are in the thing, I think. Is it all 10 increments? No, later in early modern history, it's every year. So they figure out, like, ones that you're going to have lots more to write about, they do every year. And the earlier ones, they do every 10 years or so. So yeah, we did that one. I thought we did another one, but I could be wrong. Maybe we only did the Twin Towers. That's sad. So yeah, I figured we would also go back at some point, even if it's just me, because I want to have this. So we'll go back, and things that we learned for history this past year we'll include in the notebook. So I do recommend School Nest notebooks. They're very soft on the front. They're well bound. Oh my gosh, hold on. Yeah, I don't think that's going to last long. Okay, so I do recommend these School Nest notebooks, and although I said they're more expensive, they're not expensive. They're just not $1 or something from the dollar store, that's all. And then the last two that I wanted to show, we don't use a lot of notebooks in our homeschool. We use more printed out papers. And then last year what we did is we used a spiral bound notebook, and they folded it and glued it into the notebook. I didn't really like that. If you do choose to do that, I would recommend that you print whatever worksheet it is, well, if your kids aren't too young, at 80% or so, which makes it smaller and makes it fit on the page better. But it does make it smaller to write on, so it depends on the worksheet, I think. The last ones that I wanted to show you are these, what would you call them? I don't know. I think they're called presentation. I don't even think they're called notebooks, but I wanted to show you them. So the inside, it's a hardcover. The inside is, what do you call them? Page protectors, that's it. Page protectors in this middle. And then in the front it has a spot to slide in a piece of paper. So I have one math notebook, one ELA notebook, and I did want to take the time to show you a little bit of what's in it so you can get the idea of how I use it. So what I do is every time I see a cheap, or more of them are free, almost all of them are free, in this case the math notebook, a free math game, or something that wouldn't use the worksheet and throw it out, but you can use over and over again. So some of these are games you do right on the paper. You just put your piece on the thing, play the game, and then use it again. Board games and stuff like that. And some of them are more just how to play. And some of them are cards or dice games or things like that. Just a list of games or things you can do with a worksheet, or this was from notes from a presentation that I saw. So we do Math Monday, but anytime we want to do a math game, even if it's not Math Monday, I have actual board games and card games and dice games too. And sometimes I just print out new stuff, or worksheets, not worksheets, but fun worksheets, I guess you'd call them. Oh my god, dog. But yeah, that's what this is. So it's not filled, but I keep adding new food. So what I do is I belong to lots of homeschool and a couple teacher blogs, and so when they have a freebie, I print it out, put it right in here, then I know I have it. I don't have to find it later when it's time to do math. And so I did the same thing with the ELA one. What it is this case is prompts. So this one I have, you roll the dice, or you put a thing in here, you can spin it, but it's in a white thing. So we just roll the dice, and for poetry, for the poem that we're reading, it says, if you get a number 1, you say, what is this poem about? Write a short summary explaining what you just read. or if you rolled a 3, you write about the elements of the poem, the stanzas, rhyme scheme, and speaker. So I have, like, that's from Miss P's style. I don't know if that's on, probably Teachers Pay Teachers. So there's one for poetry, one for characters, summary, fiction, nonfiction, biography, etc. I have menus or choice boards, and I have another one that has like a choice board for each month. For literary genres, nonfiction response menu, and how I use some of the, please don't, how I use some of these is when, instead of doing book studies all the time with my kids, I do one every once in a while, but more so, my son, say, reads a book, and then he comes to me after he's read for 20 minutes for the day, and say he's reading fiction, I'll look at one of my fiction menus, and I find something that he can do, and he usually types it up on the computer and just emails it to me. But like, say he was reading nonfiction, I'd go for this nonfiction menu, one of them says, what questions do you have about this topic? Or summarize what you read, or record at least 2 facts you learned, those sorts of things. And so he does that, and that's just like an activity he can do to show that he has read the book and is learning something. So I'm just trying to think of something else I wanted to say about notebooks. I do have a drawer of notebooks. I do recommend having notebooks on hand. I don't recommend having too many. I think I have too many. But having different kinds is helpful if you change your mind or need something. But the dollar store is a great place to get notebooks, whatever dollar store or similar thing you might have in your country. I don't know if other non-North American countries have dollar stores, but if you do, that would be my suggestion, or any other, like, cheap store like that. Hold on. Oh, puppies. Okay. And yeah, I have lots of planners and stuff too. Like, I have I have a composition notebook that I use for my YouTube channel, and I have a composition notebook that I use for my TPT business. So I use those for keeping track of different, like, business aspects, I guess. I find them just, I don't know, small, compact, but also the spiral bound ones tend to rip the papers very easily. Some of them even come with rip out papers, which drives me crazy. So I recommend composition notebooks for planning type purposes if you're using just a notebook. I also have a, like, planner just from Amazon that I use for my monthly, like, plan by Note Bay, apparently. It's just what I got. It's not necessarily like I don't even know if I recommend it. It's just, that's what I have. But yeah, that's what I was talking about. These, or the bigger ones, these spiral notebooks, one or more subjects. I like them. I've used them, obviously, but their pages rip out too easily, and so I don't recommend those ones as much, although it is nice that they lay flat. So it depends on what you're using it for, I guess. And I guess that's all I have to say about notebooks in your homeschool. Whether you do notebooking and you use notebooks every single day, or you just have your notebook for your planning, let me know in the comments what you use notebooks for, or what your preferred notebook is. Maybe there's one I haven't heard of. Do you use School Nest, or do you use Dollar Store? What do you use? And make sure you check out the playlist in the description to check out the other homeschool YouTubers who are sharing about their notebooks. And like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content and want to see more. All right, bye.